up, everybody? We are here with Laura Hoffman, the head of brand and a partner at the independent agency HAYMAKER. We are sitting on the Majestic on the Palais, and we are here at the Cannes Lions and doing all things Cannes. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
So do you want to tell me a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your agency? What's your superpower? What makes you guys different?
Okay, a little bit about me. I am originally from New York, and I moved to Los Angeles about 10 years ago.
Nice.
And I love LA. LA is my home. I also feel like LA is a place of great creativity, and I feel like
Home of the entertainment industry,
I know.
seat of culture.
And also just like food and entrepreneurship
Silicon Beach.
Yeah, and there's so much, I think, optimism that is part of the sunshine of California, but I also think like the spirit of the city of LA as well.
Totally. I think we saw that on full display during the Palisades fires, like
100%.
how much a community can rally together and support each other, and LA always rebuilds bigger, better, bolder.
Yes, yes. Hopefully in time for the Olympics.
Totally,
Yes, yeah. And a bit about HAYMAKER. We are an independent, minority-owned agency. The agency was started by Matt Johnson and Jay Cometh about 7 years ago. And it was really built upon strategy and creative coming to the table together.
Nice.
And I joined them about 3.5 years ago. And I was able to join them as partner. They took me on as a non-founder partner about 3 years ago.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah. So I think, I get to build upon.
So sorry.
Bless
Do that
you.
one more time.
Okay, no worries. Starting from where?
No, just your last line.
Oh yeah, of course. And I got to join them as a non-founder partner and really build upon that strategic and creative foundation with like operational strategy. And answering your question, what is your superpower? I think that truly is my superpower, bringing creativity and bringing strategy to like how we make the work.
How you do the work,
Yeah,
not just
yeah.
the creative and the idea, but also the execution.
Yeah, and I think that honestly is just as important as the work, because the experience of making the work can lead to greater work and also deepen relationships with your team and your clients. So I think it's incredibly important.
Yeah, I love that. I was talking to another agency this week that it doesn't matter how great the final product is if the process was chaos.
Yes.
Because then nobody likes each other, nobody wants to work together
So
again.
true.
In this industry where we work long hours and we spend a lot of time in collaboration, if that experience isn't seamless, fun, giving you energy versus taking away energy, making clients' lives easier, making it so your team doesn't want to quit and revolt on you. Like, these are all important things to take into consideration, that sometimes clients will, throw all those things out at the expense of, satisfying, or account people will do that, to throw all those things out at the expense of trying to satisfy unrealistic demands that are sometimes set by clients, and they don't even understand that they're setting an unrealistic demand. But sometimes we go bend over backward to do the impossible when it doesn't need to be that way.
I concur wholeheartedly.
Yep.
And I also think like when you value the process and you value like how things are happening, you also can have a lot of really important conversations along the way, to your point of like overstretching or overpromising, and you're just creating speed bumps for yourself and for your clients. So I think that like we really value transparency, and we really value being a good teammate that extends to our clients. Like, they're part of our team, we're part of their team, and to be a good teammate is to be kind and honest with each other. So I love that as well. Yeah.
Great culture. All right, so what brought you to Cannes this year?
Well, this is my first Cannes. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit intimidating, but I'm having a great time.
So good.
We actually have some work entered.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We will see how it goes on Friday, but we have a couple different categories that we entered. Our Topo Chico Sabora's work, Sabora's TV, from design to beverage. So I'm really excited about that. That was a big reason of why we wanted to send anybody
Somebody, yeah, to be there
to can this year.
Collect your statue. When
Yeah,
you win.
yeah. But also, Matt and Jay went the past couple years, and it became important this year for myself as a female leader
Yep.
to be a bit more at the forefront.
Yeah,
and
love that.
I have been able to enter, I think, a lot of spaces here that maybe didn't exist before, and certainly that Matt and Jay would be welcome, but it's not the immediate thought.
We talked about Chief
Yes.
before we went on camera. You guys got some awesome girl power
Yes.
panels and places, but yeah, I think as we continue to look at glass ceiling and parity amongst pay and representation
Yes.
In leadership positions, I half joked about the idea of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if there was a guy's versions of Chief? But I think the reality is that women deserve and should have those types of spaces. And my wife, being in the agency world as well,
cool.
she mentioned to me kind of like competitiveness and cattiness sometimes. It feels like those organizations kind of bring out the best in female support for each other as executives, lifting each other up versus kind of some of the competitive politics that can find their way into corporate or agency culture. Women trying to act like men essentially to get ahead when they don't have to. It's really their femininity that makes them great leaders and builds great cultures, I believe. So yeah, that's exciting. Are you doing any panels, any speaking, or just more experiencing this time around?
I did my first panel ever.
Let's go.
Yes, and it was a really fun experience. It was put on by Ladies Who Strategize at their villa, and it was myself and Rachel Brandt, who is the CEO and founder of Corner Table. We also had Doug Zanger on our panel, who's part of the head of Indie Agency News, and we really got to talk about what the role of so-called boutique agencies is right now within the industry, and how that word feels almost limiting at this point in time. It really implies small. It sometimes implies social only, and I think independent agencies are a lot more than that. We've at HAYMAKER have done everything from organic social for Topo Chico for the past 4 years to Super Bowl spots.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I did my first Super Bowl spot and my second Super Bowl spot in my career at HAYMAKER.
At a smaller agency, an independent agency. That is amazing. Yeah, I think you're so right. I think there was this trend that I saw 3 or 4 or 5 years ago where there was this diagram of a shark which represented the holding companies, and then a million fish swimming together in the shape of a shark that represented the independent agency space.
I love that.
I really loved it too. I think there was maybe a moment where there became too many types of agencies. You had a NFT agency and a crypto agency and a college athlete agency, and the fractionalization and the specialization that originally brought expertise then maybe created too many points of contact for the client to manage. My last agency was a victim of a consolidation of 500 agencies telling Adobe's brand story and needing to go down to a more manageable number. So I think there was a swing back to like, okay, let's have these holding companies are buying these capabilities up, they're breaking down silos. We can have one agency for all, and they were building these like agencies that was like one agency for one client.
I know.
Which I thought was kind of a funny but effective strategy. But yeah, I feel like independent agencies, I would like to call them, are having maybe a bit of a comeback again. What do you think is the independent agency's best point of differentiation from a holding company relationship?
Great question. I feel like it's the flexibility. I talked a little bit about this on my panel, but I've been an intrapreneur throughout my whole career. First agency I ever worked at, I was fresh out of engineering school.
Wow.
Took a hard left there. But it was at Draft before.
Yeah, before it was Draft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, we were launching FiOS. way back when, and it was all direct advertising. And I was very used to creating models, so I actually created the reporting model just because I had the skill set. And I think that when you're at an independent, you have that flexibility to create new, whether it be departments, processes. At Haymaker, I have, alongside Matt and Jay, developed our own production division called Throwdown.
Okay.
And really, it's born out of necessity.
Yeah.
Clients are being asked to do more with less. And when we were looking at the bids and seeing markups and seeing like post-producer line items, we were like,
Pulling more in-house
yeah.
is a way to not only increase margin, but increase kind of control over how many hands touch the work.
Yeah. And so the ability and the flexibility to be able to do those things and create those things, I think makes independence really powerful, because every client is different. Every organization has a different culture, different language, different ethos, and to be able to be adaptable and flexible to meet their needs and their challenges is something that we can offer that holding companies might not be able to, because they have legacy processes, legacy layers, things like that.
Love it. Well, I think that's probably a good place to stop and allow you to continue on your can journey.
Thank you so much.
If folks want to learn more about Haymaker, or if they'd like to get in touch with you directly, where should you send them?
Ooh, okay. You can go to our website, and it's very specific because there is a Haymaker PR who are very good, by the way.
You found out that they're good.
Yes,
by association.
A lot of calls and sometimes RFPs that come for them to us, and we go back and forth on it. So it's HYMKR.co, and then our Instagram is just Haymaker.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cheers.